Many of the harbors and bays of the French shore are uninhabited, but they have stories that have been in the making for 500 plus years. These were busy centers. In fact, it's noted that the French shore at its pinnacle harbored 500 ships and supported 12,000 fishermen in the prosecution of this lucrative cod fishery. Nothing much is left. But rest assured, if you look into the soul of these places, your imagination and knowledge will grow with real adventure, real history, and sometimes just real conjecture. I am in St. Julian's, just a few miles south of St. Anthony and north of Conch. It's a place that I have wanted to visit for several years and finally did in 2021. St. Julian's is in fact 3 harbors: Great St. Julian's, Little St. Julian's, and present-day Grand Islets. Grand Islets is an active community with about 26 people living there. St. Julian's has been a popular fishing base over the centuries with its close proximity to the French naval headquarters in Croc. This harbor was used extensively by the migratory fishermen who operated out of St. Malo, France. As I walk along her shores, the 2 cemeteries, a cabin, and a few shards of pottery and glass on the beach are but a hint of the people who lived and made a livelihood here. But if one looks closer, you will observe the stone beach terraces used by the French to dry their precious salted cod. There is an unknown history hidden somewhere on this land, a battle in 1640. In Harold Horwood's book Newfoundland, he writes there was a small band of indigenous men who surprised the French fishermen of St. Julian's and killed 16 here. Historical evidence like illustrations, photographs, and journal writings begin to reveal a picture of what this place might have looked like. Old maps detail the buildings, wharves, fish flakes, anchorages, and water depths and hazards. How about the photographs from Paul-Émile Miyot taken in the middle of 19th century, or the 1766 writings of naturalist Sir Joseph Banks who described these French rooms? He wrote of these French fishing rooms as being airy and neat, with the buildings covered by white sails. However, he spoke of the filthy water around these airy, neat structures though. In the same year, it was estimated there were 120 boats operating out of this small area. This is St. Julian's, but it's also the hundreds of other resettled communities on the Newfoundland and Labrador coast. If you watched my recent video of Places North in Introduction, you will have noted that I had a very wet walk around St. Julian's.
I came to St. Julian's to check out the cemetery here. The last time I was here, it was pouring down rain. I had intended to come over, but the wind had shifted to northerly. And initially light, but I still stopped what I was doing, a little bit of camera work, and went out and lifted the anchor. By the time I had the anchor lifted and secured and everything ready to go, it was blowing pretty good, 20 knots I would say, and more northeast, so it was a little bit ticklish. I didn't know the area. I did find a good harbor though, and all was well.
And that was Grand Islets Harbour, also known as White's Arm, just 5 nautical miles and a long hour's run. The harbour was protected and tranquil. What else could you ask for? I did spend some time wandering around the harbour, but had not realised the hidden secrets of this place until I was home. After some research and emails, I learned that my friends Greg Harvey and Jim Wise on board SV Starrigan had sailed here in 2009. Greg's dad, Don Harvey, had fished here with his uncle Shenstone Parsons in the 1930s. He had told Greg that there was a rock with his initials and many of the freshwater men that fished out of White's Arm. His initials were carved in the rock with a rusty nail. Greg came to Great Islets Harbour to find that rock, and he was successful. What a legacy for Greg and his dad. It's August 9th and I'm back in St. Julian's Harbour for a few hours. This time it is a more relaxed, drier walk around the harbour. I have an opportunity to look at some of the gravestones. Earliest known settler was George McGrath, who came here in 1822. He became the guardian for the French premises during the fall and winter months. The Drudge family joined George McGrath by the 1840s, with Keogh settling in around 1857. Other names in the cemetery were Whiteaway and Sexton. Keogh's, McGrath's, Drudge, McCarthy. I think it's a pretty Irish cemetery. George Whiteaway, born 1887, died February 1971. Martha McCarthy, died 1908. I think it says Claire McGrath. It's hard to get the date. John Drudge. Elizabeth Drudge. While my stay in St. Julian's was just hours, she has granted me a beautiful vision of what this resettled community is hiding under her green fields, old trails, rocky outcrops, and gravestones of her dearly departed. She has given me a thirst to return, to discover more of what Hare Bay and her harbours have to offer. And we must always take note of Al Pittman's heartfelt words. In all measures of time turning, it may not matter that the dead are dead, as long as the living live and remember. This is our legacy to those who have passed.